How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Monitor Comics, the channel where we create comics and manga. In today's video, we're going to be discussing character arcs. Character arcs are usually mentioned in the same conversation as character development. In my previous video, I gave an overview of everything you need to know in order to write general character development in your comics and manga. In that video, I briefly mentioned character arcs, but in this video, we're really going to delve deeper into it. This video was highly requested by a bunch of you, so be sure to comment down below any video suggestions you might have. Make sure you check out the previous video if you haven't already. I'll leave a link to it up in the top right hand corner right now and down in the description below. Let's jump right into it. A character arc is the transformation or inner journey of a character over the course of a story. Think of it like this. At the beginning of your story, your character starts off as a certain kind of person. After the events of your story unfold, your character is bound to gradually transform and grow into a different kind of person. This progression from normality to rapid change to transformation is why we call this story element an arc. Literally speaking, a character arc maps the evolution of your character's personality throughout the story. Your arc may occur over several chapters or even several volumes. Think of an arc as a timeline, indicating when the personality change is set in motion and when the personality change is completed. Remember, the changes in your character's personality don't have to be monumental, but they will have made some sort of significant impact on your character, either positively or negatively. When your character overcomes external obstacles and internal flaws in order to become a better person, we can label this transformation as a positive arc. A positive arc is made up of 3 key points. 1. The goal. Every character has something they believe in or are working towards. The goal is hindered by 2. The lie. Every character should have some sort of misconception about themselves or the world around them that prevents them from reaching their true potential. In order to reach their goal, your character must acknowledge and overcome the lie by facing 3. The truth. While your character may have their own plans, a positive story arc has one main goal: self-improvement. This is when your character rejects the lie and embraces the truth. So how do we apply this to our own comics and manga projects? Personally, I always believe writing things out helps me organize my thoughts. Take a moment to write out your character's goal, lie, and truth. By asking yourself these questions, you will have a clear idea of the path you want your character to follow. Now the challenge is just to fill in the blanks by coming up with the middle elements that will lead to the positive transformation. Taking a look at a modern example, let's examine Armin's character arc from Attack on Titan. Don't worry, I won't spoil anything major. I know how crazy season 4 is right now. I read the manga. For those of you unfamiliar with Attack on Titan, Armin is one of 3 main characters. In episode/chapter 1, Armin is introduced as a timid child who often gets bullied and harassed. Armin lacks self-confidence and would describe himself as weak and undeserving of whatever fortune he has. Despite lacking any standout physical abilities, Armin has always been a bookworm who found enjoyment learning new things. As the story progresses, we watch Armin develop the guts and intelligence to become a military commander. We also see him change for the better as he becomes more brave and has put his life on the line several times to protect his friends. If we want to literally map out Armin's character arc using the 3 points mentioned before, we can say his goal is to become someone strong enough to survive and protect the people he loves. His lie is he isn't special enough to become someone worthy of respect. His truth could be, even though he doesn't have extraordinary physical abilities, his intelligence makes him worth 100 soldiers. Change isn't always a good thing. As a result, your character might not come out on top after they face the obstacles preventing them from reaching their true potential. Humans are heavily impacted by the circumstances around us. This means sometimes the struggle can get the best of us. This outcome can be labeled as a negative arc and consists of 3 main points. 1. The goal. Similar to the positive arc's goal, except instead of being hindered by the lie, the goal will be driven by the lie. 2. The lie. The belief that achieving a certain goal will bring about a positive outcome. In order to reach their goal, the character either knowingly or unknowingly embraces the lie, bringing them further away from the truth. 3. The truth. Whether or not the goal was born out of ill intention, the truth of the matter is that it was self-destructive. It was a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's important to note that negative arcs don't always have to depict characters necessarily changing internally for the worst. Sometimes the world around them just changes negatively. A good example of a negative character arc can be found in one of my personal favorite anime, Code Geass. I can't avoid getting into spoiler territory here, so if you're currently watching Code Geass or you plan to in the future, be warned that I'm going to spoil some major plot points. You have been warned. The character we'll be analyzing is Suzaku, the optimistic rival and best friend character of the series protagonist Lelouch. Both characters begin in the same exact position, children who lost their place in the world due to war. While Lelouch decides to rebel against the empire that invaded his homeland, Suzaku decides to join them as an honorary citizen and climb his way up the social ladder. As a result of this, the 2 characters are pinned against each other, as Suzaku's military unit is sent to eradicate Lelouch's terrorist organization. Taking a look at Suzaku's goal, he simply wants to be on the morally right side of history. to become an upstanding person who can support those he loves, Lelouch included. He sucks up his pride to fight for the empire that stole his homeland and his family from him. Unknown to Suzaku, his childhood friend Lelouch took the opposite route and formed an organization to destroy the empire once and for all. Suzaku's lie would be that he falsely believed what he was doing was ethically correct. The more Suzaku works for the empire, he finds himself questioning his morality. He's finally sent over the edge when his lover is killed by his best friend Lelouch. Suzaku's truth would be realizing that the empire he was fighting for all along wasn't what he thought it was, ultimately realizing that his best friend Lelouch was on the actual right side of history the entire time. Driven by revenge, Suzaku takes it upon himself to murder his best friend Lelouch and take his place as the leader of the organization. Although Suzaku technically managed to grow by the end of his character arc, his entire world was ruined in the process, having lost his family, his homeland, his best friend, and his lover to the war. These 3 steps, while being the universal element of all arcs, can take countless forms depending on the specifics of your character. Sometimes story arcs don't involve substantial internal change, but instead highlight the change your character has in the world around them. This type of arc is known as a flat arc. In conclusion, when planning the arcs of your comics and manga, always pay attention to the lie your character believes, the truth they may or may not believe, and the goal that drives them. By breaking your character arcs down into these 3 components, you should be able to see clear cause and effect in your story. In actual application, these 3 points help you plan out key points for your character's development. Your comic or manga should include events that lead up to this point. You should also have events that hinder the character's journey, or detour from the main events. By spreading out your story arc into smaller arcs within arcs, you'll be creating what's known as filler content. By taking your time world building and exploring your characters, you won't reach your end goals too quickly. Hopefully you got some value out of this video. If you did, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Drop a comment down below, telling us about the manga or comic you're currently working on. If you're looking for something else to watch after you're done watching this video, I highly recommend you check out some of my other videos. We've already covered a ton of cool topics, including but not limited to scripting your own comics, writing great dialogue, choosing comic book effects, writing specific genres of manga, including sports, shonen, and romance, and even how to storyboard your comics. I'll link all of those down in the description below. You can find all of my social media accounts also listed down below. I post all of my finished artwork over on Instagram. My commissions are currently open, so be sure to hit me up on Instagram if you're interested in having original artwork or fan artwork created by yours truly. As always, keep creating, guys. I'll see you all in the next one.